Welcome to another month of romance video. So today we are going to talk about wallpaper historicals. So what are they? Is probably a good place to get started. A wallpaper historical is a historical romance that is set in the past, obviously. That is what historical means. But it doesn't put an emphasis on actual history or historical accuracy when it comes to that history. They probably don't even talk about historical events or things like war or other political situations, especially in really nitpicky specifics. They may reference people like Prinny or Napoleon in passing to kind of add like a little bit of depth and flavor, but that's really it. Instead, they use the history and the historical setting more as wallpaper, as a setting, as a building block to the background for you. It'll help the world feel more real, but the history doesn't actually impact the story and the characters involved in your story. Now, this can happen on like a spectrum. I don't know what other word to use other than that. So, for example, I recently read as an e-arc Forever My Duke, or whatever that book is titled, because it has multiple titles. By Olivia Drake. It was a new release in 2019. The heroine is an American who loses her best friend due to the events of the War of 1812, and this affects her opinions on the people of British descent and British citizens, basically. So this I would not consider a wallpaper historical. It's really showing how these events impacted people. I will also say I think you're seeing less and less of just blanket wallpaper historicals now, but whatever. Versus somebody like Julia Quinn, I would say that the majority of her books are wallpaper historicals. She acknowledges things like Napoleon and tensions between England and France, when are there not tensions between them, but they don't play a large role in the story, and it's not focusing on the specifics of what's going on. It's more dropping these names and these places and events so that the world feels more real to you, because they're probably things that you picked up in a high school history class. It's just a thing that's there. Historical fiction is more likely to go into those facts and events, while wallpaper historicals are more likely to use this as a background and as a setting for a world for a book. I want to be clear, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with wallpaper historicals or any form of historical fiction or historical romance or anything like that. I just think there's a difference, and it's important to know that going in. So you might go in thinking that this book is set during a certain time period and maybe they're going to talk about things, but they're probably not. That's not the main focus of a historical romance the majority of the time. So do you prefer or have a problem with wallpaper historicals? Do you think historical romance should focus more on accuracy and including historical events? Do you not even care at all? Just let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.